many times have you planned your next career move? But does planning always work? What should you do if what you plan doesn't turn out the way you expect it to? And how to deal with accidents? Let's hear it all from Mr. V. Laxmikanth, the Managing Director of Broadridge, in this very fun and interactive session of What Industry Wants.
So before we get started, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Okay. Do you know what's a story? What's a story? Maybe if you don't have to answer it, I want you to think about it. Okay. And what is a saga? Right? You heard the term saga? Yeah? Where's the interactive? Yes or no? Right? There's a huge difference between a story and a saga. Okay. A story typically is about some imaginary character, usually, right? And it's fairly short, kind of ends with a moral, so to speak. Okay. And a saga is more about some heroic deed where there's a hero in the middle of the whole story. And it goes on and it never stops. Meaning, it's about the hero's journey till, some conclusion, if any. Make sense? Yeah? Yeah. So my question to you, first question is your life a story or a saga? Saga, right? And who's the hero? You're the hero, correct? So keep that in mind. Okay. So whenever you are writing your saga, okay, you are a hero, right? And when you write your saga, it doesn't end after you finish your BTech. It doesn't end after you finish your MSET examination. Correct? Right? If it was so, that would have been a story. It would have been done. The saga is about you influencing the future yourself. If you sit and write your saga and want to think of where you are going to be, let's say 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you put yourself as the hero and figure out how your story is going to be. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. Second question. What's a marathon? Huh? Long. Okay. Run is usually, okay. Wrong, yes. Then? Hop. Running for a cause, okay. So typically, a marathon is I agree with you, it's fairly a long run, okay. And what's a sprint? Correct? Short, sprint, the term itself says it, right? So I have a question for you. So, can you run a marathon like a sprint? No? Why? I mean, obvious, right? After 100 meters, you're pretty much dead if you try to run the marathon like a sprint, okay? So, this is the second thing you need to keep in mind. If you're writing a saga, you can't sprint through your saga, right? You have to think of it like a marathon, okay? The third thing is, which I want you to, and I'll hopefully tie it all together at the end of this, is what's the difference between a plan and an accident? Okay, let me ask it slightly differently, okay? So 10 years back, or say 8 years back, or whenever you started your 7th class or 8th class, how many of you had planned to be an engineer? Nobody? All of you guys are accidents? True? That's extremely hard to believe, okay?
So it's a plan for the parents.
That's what I was coming to, right? Right? So, meaning that somebody, maybe you didn't make a choice, okay? But somebody, 10 years back had decided that you're going to be an engineer. Okay. And honestly, I'm very surprised. I'm standing here in Hyderabad, in good old Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And if somebody says they didn't want to be an engineer, I would be terribly shocked actually. Okay. Or a doctor. Okay. Either you're an engineer, a doctor, or you don't exist. Okay. So that's the three options. Okay. So, all of you here by accident. That's what I'm hearing, right? Good. I mean, that's good news actually, okay. The reason I want to mention that, and I want to probably talk just a few sentences about myself is, my getting into this industry was an accident. I had no intention and no idea what this industry was, nor I ever thought that, I'd make a career in this industry. Okay. So I was born here, okay, and I grew up in a place called Dharwar. How many of you have heard of Dharwar? I'm sure the guys who wanted to do medical in one of those colleges there would definitely heard of it. Okay. So Dharwad is a small town in North Karnataka. The only thing it's kind of known for its university there. Okay. And there was another company there, and my dad was heading that. He was general manager there. So we kind of moved. Okay. And like most of you, and probably at that time we didn't have the network and the email and the WhatsApp. So we were not so connected to the outside world. So our world was our friend circle, okay. So, and I kind of had a very close friend, and he's still a very close friend and dear friend. He's probably one of India's leading material scientists, okay. And he did his bachelor's in physics. He was 2 years senior, so guess what? I did bachelor's in physics, okay. So he did master's in physics. Guess what? I did masters in physics, right? I mean, typical, right? Today, what you guys do? You'll ask your friend, "Entra em cheyala," right? And he'll say, "Okay, this course," so that, and you go and do it, right? And pretty much the same thing, okay? So he did his, masters. So I did the masters. He did his PhD. He was one of the youngest PhDs out of the institute. And obviously, guess what? I was going to do the PhD, right? And so what happened was, in my final year, I'd already spoken to one of the profs, and he was going to take me as, his student, and all that good thing was supposed to happen. And I thought I had my life planned out, okay. So very straightforward, right? You do a PhD, few years later you do postdoctoral, and then you come back, you become a prof, you get married, you have a few kids, then you die. Pretty much that's the general plan, okay. But what happened was, in that year, we went on strike. Okay, this is getting recorded. Okay, because I don't want Santanu tomorrow to say you taught the wrong things to her. Okay, so we went on strike, and we had a very noble cause. I mean, like most strikes do. Our noble cause was that they wanted to introduce a semester system for our batch, and we didn't want that. We wanted the regular 1 year kind of affair, because semester system meant what? Every quarter you have an examination, or I know nobody wanted it. I guess none of you want it. Okay, so once a year was good, and then you had to prepare for 10 days. You're done. Okay, so we went on strike, and we succeeded. Okay, because they said for the next subsequent batch we'll move to semester. You guys are exempt. So we're happy with that kind of decision. But it actually took almost 3 months for that to happen. And so in the meantime, what really happened was my PhD program got pushed, because in those days, you had to join either in October or March if you had to get a UGC grant. So the October cycle got missed. So my prof said March. Okay, and he said, if you want, you can enjoy yourself for a few months. Okay, then you can kind of join. We'll do some work. You can imagine, yeah, I'm like 21, 22. Your prof tells you, have a good time, enjoy, and come back. I mean, the best thing that can happen to you, right? You can go and tell at home. My prof said you can enjoy, don't worry about it, and nobody can complain. So I kind of took the thing, and the first day I was at home, did nothing, just chatted around. Dads are dads, right? I mean, they don't like, sons hanging around home doing nothing. So first day, nothing happened. Second day, then third day, he gave me a task, clean all the stuff. Okay. Fourth day, clean the same thing over and over again. By end of the week, he had nothing to give me. So then finally he told me, instead of wasting time like this, there's a company in Hubli, which is a twin city kind of Hyderabad, Secunderabad like. There's a company which has bought a computer, okay, and they are teaching basic language. Okay, the only language we learned in our college was Fortran, that was on punch cards. So he said they're teaching basic, so why don't you go and at least learn this course? Okay, I mean, you really don't have a choice, right? Dad says, okay, so I tried to push it for a few days, but then finally, he got on my case. So I take the bus and I go to this company. The company's name is Cotmac. I still remember that day. And then I go there and I say, I understand you're teaching basic programming. It's supposedly a 3-month course. I want to join that course. And that lady who was at the reception said, unfortunately, the instructor who was teaching has quit and he's going to the Middle East. I was extremely delighted. All the gods were working for me, right? Here I go to this place and then, and then Dad says, go for this course, and I'm supposed to go for this course, and nothing happens. Then I thought for a minute, and I don't know for that minute, and then, okay, then what happened was the proprietor of that firm, she came out, her name is Suman, and then she said, what's happening kind of stuff, and I said, I understand this, and she said, yeah, we'll let you know in, Jan, February kind of stuff. Then for some moment, I still don't know, and I then kind of said, if it's not there, why don't you take me as a trainee for a few months? Okay. Honestly, till date, I don't know why I said it. Trainee. Okay. I have no idea. I mean, maybe that's I should have started with a trainer. So I said, why don't you take me as a trainee? Then she thought about it for a minute, and then she said, why don't you write down your resume? So I wrote down my resume. Then she said, oh, you're Mr. Venkatraman's son. I said, yeah. Then she said, join from Monday. Okay. And so I joined from Monday. So I really, I had no idea of what this whole field was. Okay. And those days, this computer was an 8-bit computer. There was no display. It had 32 KB of RAM. It had a rolling display. And all I did was, for the first week, I did nothing. And then second week, they gave me, vouchers to punch, because it was a system for in-house use. That is, payroll, inventory control, etc. So they used to get the vouchers, and I used to sit and punch and go home at the end of the day. Okay. And I was thinking it's better than, going home and getting my dad to give me other work, right? So that was my whole process. So a couple of weeks later, there's a guy called Anil Nair. He came from Bangalore. They were doing all the programming for this. And then he and I got pally, and then he said, I can teach you some programming. But good. So he taught me some programming. And so basically, first was some report writing, right? You have a master file, you have a transaction file, you merge the two and produce those reports. Okay. I think only Santanu and I know what that was. Most of you guys have no idea what. Okay. And so we did that, and so I continued for some time. I liked it. It was pretty. I was pretty good at it. Okay. So 2-3 months happened. Then I told Suman, 3 months happened. I need to go for my PhD. Okay. Then she said, no, we'll pay you when you work here. And she's offered me 440 rupees or something. This is 1981. 440 rupees a month was the salary. Pretty decent salary in those days, by the way. Okay. And then I went and told my prof, this is what happened. She's offering me 440 rupees a month. He said, you better take that. Yeah. Why do you want to do PhD? Okay. So I took that. Okay. Guess what? Maybe 6 months later, I get not a mail. A mail is mail, not email. Okay. From Anil Nair saying that, there's a company in Hyderabad. They're setting up a center in Hyderabad. Small company called Microsense Computers. Okay. And if you're interested, I can forward your resume to you, because otherwise you'll be stuck in a small place like Dharwad. Nothing's really going to happen. I said, okay, send my resume. So I sent the resume. I was called for an interview. They gave me a job. And guess what they paid me? 1900 rupees a month. So forget PhD, forget the plan, okay, right? Forget Dharwad, I was here, man. And so from Microsense to Intergraph to whatever, the way I kind of say it is, I've taken it as it has come. Okay. Meaning, quite often, what happens when you plan is, you tend to look at a target And when you're looking at the target, you miss the looking at the sides. If something might happen, okay, you miss it. Okay, and this is probably not a very right analogy, but let me give you this analogy anyway. But so one of my good friends, he was explaining the same thing. Okay, so essentially, when you're 24, 25, your mom asks, you want to get married, you say no and all that. They say no, you want to get married. Yeah, okay, okay. And what kind of girl you want. Then the girl you'll describe will be a combination of Aishwarya, Prakatina, Kafra, everything, right? Oh, that's what you'll say. She has to have this characteristics, etc., etc. Okay. The reality is, that was your plan, you never get married, right? So you'll get somebody, and you'll make it work. That make sense? Okay. That's the difference between plan and accident. Okay. So accidents happen. It's your job to make it work. Okay, and that would be the whole premise of my advice to you is don't go very strictly with a plan. Okay, if you go very strictly with a plan, usually you end up getting disappointed. Okay, and so it's very important. So today you are here by accident, continue to be in this field by accident, and continue to work. Okay, so that's my initial thing. Okay, so we talked a little bit about this. I don't know how many of you have heard of Broadridge? Some of you have? Yes? No? Okay. So this is the most important financial firm in Wall Street that you have never heard of. Okay. So now that you've heard about it, I have to kill you all because you heard about it and I can't put this slide up again. Right? So essentially a very little background. Today it's a $4 billion company. It's got a market cap of over $9 billion. We serve the financial services industry in what we call two segments, communications and post-trade processing. We've got about 3,000 people here in Hyderabad, 10,000 people globally. You name the technology platform, we do a lot of work on it. We probably are one of the earliest companies who are today so-called clouded and software as a service and platform as a service. We've always been delivering our products that way. And the India Center is pretty critical for Broadridge. We lead the way on pretty much all technology initiatives. All the latest initiatives like AI, machine learning, blockchain is done from here. Okay, so extremely proud to be part of that. So I'm not here to talk about Broadridge. Today's meeting is about you all. Okay. Of course, if you have any other questions about Broadridge, I'm happy to take it. If not here, offline. Okay, I need to say this by the way because it's part of my job, and so if I get misquoted or quoted or whatever, is my disclaimer. It's my opinion, not that of my company. Okay. So what is this? Huh? What is that? You guys are very good at math. That much I can tell you that. Huh? Okay. So now is the time for interaction. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to take maybe 5 minutes. Okay. Imagine that today is August 5th, 2022. Okay. And you are writing your resume that day. Okay. Make sense? So I want you to write, and this is you don't have to share it with anybody out here, but and maybe at the end of the session you can try and figure out is where you are. I want you to write what would your 3 accomplishments be between now and 20. You're writing in 2022. You're writing a resume. I've done this. Remember the saga, right? You're the hero. You're writing it. Okay. What would be your 3 accomplishments? Okay. What would be the 3 skills that you would have picked up? Okay. And what would be the 3 disappointments? Okay. Make sense? This I told you it's going to be interactive. Okay. You didn't think that interactive meant giving you some work to do, right? Yeah. Okay. That's why I said accidents happen. So, got 5 minutes. I would urge you to seriously, maybe, I don't mind even if it's 10 minutes. This is a very important thing. Okay. And I urge you to really think about it as to what. Okay. And please write it down, and I would suggest that you think about what are you going to accomplish, what are you going to be a disappointment, and what are the 3 skills that you would pick up.
Your attitude is all that matters no matter what you plan to achieve in life. Be positive and confident and make the best out of what you've got. And don't forget to write down your 3 accomplishments, skills and disappointments. Good luck guys!